Hey you guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Mikkel from the podcast Intuitively Unapologetic. So in today's video, I'm basically going to be going over what is ancestral money, how to use it, and just what it is. Now before I get into anything, I do want to put this out here that burning ancestor money is not traditional within Hoodoo. And so when it comes to Hoodoo, I think it's important to know what's traditional and what's modern. So traditional things that are considered traditional in Hoodoo is basically things that our Black ancestors practiced way back when, and Hoodoo was created during slavery. So during slavery and post-slavery and stuff like that. So when it comes to more of modern things practiced in Hoodoo, it's basically things that have evolved from what was practiced back then, if you get my drift. And you guys, nothing is wrong with doing things that aren't traditional within Hoodoo. It's just important to know what is traditional and what is modern so you can differentiate between the two, and to just actually know your history, know where you come from, know what it is that your ancestors practice. And a lot of the stuff that we do within Hoodoo, for the most part, is traditional, but there are certain things in Hoodoo that we do that is considered more modern. And it's like with times changing and stuff like that, we evolve and we do, different things. Just things change over time. Like when you think of how our ancestors back then was just able to basically open up their door and get different herbs to just use, like everything was readily available. And so when you think of that time period, especially in the South, because Hoodoo was created in the South, so especially within the South back then, we didn't have as many buildings and things of that nature. So a lot of the herbs that were used back then were just readily available. Like you could literally go outside, open up your door, and just get the herb that you needed. But now we live in a more modern time where it's not like that. Like we can't just open up our door and get the herb that we need. A lot of the times, for the most part, some of us, we live in cities and stuff of that nature, and so we have to go to a botanical shop or buy our herbs online. So traditionally, even though our ancestors went outside to get the herbs that they needed and just everything that they needed because it was readily available, some of us aren't able to do that. And so it doesn't make it wrong, it's just a more modern way of getting our herbs. Back then, when our ancestors needed soup out of the fireplace, they could easily just go to the fireplace and get it. A lot of the times, especially if you live in a city, a lot of us have gas lines and stuff. So we have gas to heat our house. So we don't necessarily need a fireplace or have a fireplace. So basically, things just change over time. How we do things change over time, and nothing is wrong with that. It's just important to know what's traditional and what's modern. So let's get into what ancestor money is. So ancestor money is traditionally used in a specific type of religion within China. I'm not necessarily sure the specific religion, but it is used in China. Like it started there. So basically with this ancestor money, it is just a way that people venerate their ancestors so they can have things on the other life and just elevate. So now when it comes to things within Hoodoo and even Santeria, we have incorporated ancestor money within these type of practices. So you can see people that practice Hoodoo and people that practice Santeria, using ancestor money within their practice. And back to traditional Hoodoo, like I said, our ancestors, they weren't using ancestor money. They didn't even know what ancestor money was. They wasn't using it. And now some people have chosen to incorporate it within their practice of Hoodoo. And while there is different ways, you guys, of venerating our ancestors that are traditional, this is just another way of venerating our ancestors that is more modern. And venerating, you guys, is a whole nother topic, but the reason we venerate our ancestors is to basically show respect to them and to help them elevate. There are different ways of venerating your ancestors, by giving them offerings, saying prayers, singing to them, communicating with them, you know, talking to them, learning new things. When you learn new things, you guys, your ancestors learn new things. Healing, that's a good way of venerating your ancestors and letting them evolve more. Because what people have to realize in Hoodoo is that the spirits that you are using are your ancestors. Those are your first line of spirits that you're actually utilizing. You're utilizing your ancestors. Your ancestors play a big role within Hoodoo. The base of Hoodoo is being connected to Mother Nature. That's where, you know, the whole roots and stuff come from, and also venerating your ancestors. So they're a big part of Hoodoo. Without your ancestors, there is no Hoodoo. So your ancestors are a big part of Hoodoo. And so with that being said, sometimes our ancestors carry a karmic debt. They carry debt. And so because of that, they're not able to help us as much as they would like to in the afterlife, because they have this debt that is basically weighing them down. And so when we have ancestor money and we're burning it for them, is just a way to help them elevate so they can do more for us. When you think of generational curses, okay, and trauma, and just a pathology of things that are carried down from generation to generation, those are the type of things that can be healed when burning ancestral money. So you guys, this is what traditionally ancestor money looks like. And on this paper, you'll see that it has Jade Emperor on it. Basically, Jade Emperor is the deity over money. So whenever we burn money, it all goes through Jade the Emperor. He accepts this, and everything financially goes through Jade Emperor. Now, you see the money has Jade Emperor on it, and if that doesn't resonate with you to have Jade Emperor on it, there is ancestor money out there that has different faces of people on it, black people, whatever. But what's important when buying ancestor money is making sure that whoever is on the ancestor money, whoever faces on the ancestor money, you want to make sure that it's someone who has passed on. You don't want to burn ancestor money with a picture of someone who is still on this earth, because I have seen ancestral money out here that you can buy where it has people on there where they're still alive. So how you burn ancestor money, you guys? So when it comes to burning ancestor money, you guys, you want to make sure that you have something that's fireproof, because you will be burning it in something that's fireproof. I have a cauldron that I have on my altar, and that's what I burn to give my ancestors their money. And so when you burn this money, basically what you want to do, you guys, is light a candle. So since I do it on my altar, I have my candle lit. And so what I do then, and if you don't have a candle, you know, or whatever, and you burn it, you know, you can use a lighter or whatever, but I just personally use the fire from the actual candle. And so what I do is I take my money and I fold it towards me one time, and then I turn it around and fold it to me again, and then I put it in the fire and I say, this is for my ancestors, both known and unknown, and then I put it in the pot. And the reason that I put emphasis on folding the money towards you is because within Hoodoo, you know, positive things that's gaining and stuff, that's folded towards you. Things that you are repelling and banishing and stuff of that nature, you know, you fold it outwards. So when it comes to specific ancestors that you know by name and that you actually work with, you can actually, give money to that specific ancestor. And so what you want to do is get a pen. I use a black pen, and basically what I do is write their birth name on the money. So you don't want to use the name, so say you have an ancestor that's a female, you want to use the name they were born with, not the name that they marry into. And so you want to use their first and last name when burning it. So what you'll do is just write it anywhere on the money, and then you'll fold it like you usually do, and then you'll say, okay, this, you'll speak over and say, this ancestor money is for my ancestor so and so. and you fold it the same way and all that, and you speak over it and put it in the fire and burn it. And just make sure, you guys, that when you are speaking over the money, you're actually saying where it's going. When it comes to spirituality and stuff of that nature, you definitely want to make sure that you have intent with everything. You want to speak over everything, because other than that, you're just burning ancestor money. You want to say, you want to tell Jay Emperor, who's the money going to, or whatever. Even when you write it on the paper, even when you write your ancestor name on the paper, you still want to make sure that you're specific when speaking over it, even though you wrote it. So you guys, that's what ancestor money is and how you can burn it. I didn't actually, do it on camera of me burning it, because I didn't want to I know some people do, but I don't personally want to intentionally put my ancestors' altar on camera or whatever. I wouldn't mind putting my working altar on camera, but my working altar, I don't have the cauldron on there. I have my cauldron on my ancestors' altar. But it's really that simple. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will catch you in the next video.